I love you. Ooh, yeah. Israel, I love you like I love myself. Israel.
Welcome back to Lamp Oil Stock, where we give an Israelite perspective to different problems and different issues, and we just have good conversations. So I want to welcome you all back to our continuing series of the Red Letter Bible, and we're going to go on to part 3, which is what, dear?
We're going to finish reading what Christ says in Matthew chapter 4. So we're going to read Matthew chapter 4, verse 17 and verse 19.
Okay, so we're going to do 2 at once.
Right.
All right.
So Matthew chapter 4, verse 19 says, "And he saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And I skipped 17, so
Okay.
we're going to go back.
Okay, so let's well here, let's do this. Let's do this. Let me take a moment. Let me set the scene. Okay, so this is after Christ's baptism, which we actually talked part about.
Right.
Okay, and he is now, I believe, in Galilee. I mean, he's between Zebulon and Naphtali. He's preaching.
Okay.
Okay, and this is also when he starts to gather his disciples.
Right. I'm not exactly sure if he's preaching at this time, but whatever.
No. Okay, fair enough. He is. If we go back a little bit, he is between the lands of Zebulon and Naphtali. He's journeying between those lands.
Right.
Okay, and this is where he. And it does say in 17. If you start reading in 17, it tells you he was preaching.
Okay. So verse 17 of chapter 4 Matthew, I said that in the wordest way possible, says, "From that time Jesus began to preach and to say, Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." Okay.
All right, so now we know what we're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so this is a pretty famous line.
Uh-huh.
All right, and
What does it mean?
okay.
I don't know.
This is actually what we're here for. That's what's going on, is to talk about this particular line. So let's just break it down. Let's
Okay.
just start at the top and we'll just
So
break it
there
down.
is no Old Testament verse that I can give you that goes with it. So we're just going to have to go with what he says.
Right.
Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I think it, in my opinion, this means first thing that anybody who is coming to the Most High has to do is repent.
Right.
Because none of us have have lived this world without sinning. So you need to repent, which is turn from your wicked ways. Okay.
Right.
And then he says, "For the kingdom of heaven is at hand." What he's saying here, I believe, is that the prophecies, the end time prophecies, are starting to go out, are in the process of getting ready to go out throughout the whole world.
Right.
You know, generally, when we look at the Old Testament, we'll see things that are happening, and it's happening in a particular area, at one time. You
Right.
know, you had the plagues of Egypt. Well, they were confined to Egypt.
Yeah.
You had stuff that went on in Babylon, and it was confined to Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
But Christ knew the things that were coming, and now he also knows what's going to happen at the end. So he knew that we were going to be dispersed all over the world, and that the end time prophecies were going to be happening all over the place.
I'm with you.
And so he's telling you that this is the start of it, not
not the end.
Not that it's getting ready to happen at this moment, but that these prophecies are now starting to open up and unfold.
Right. Okay, now before we go on to the next line,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to kind of look at this a slightly different way.
Okay.
Okay, so if you think about our own lives for just a second, okay, and it doesn't matter who the person is. I'm just general view.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start off in the wilderness, meaning you're lost, tempted on the regular, all those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and at some point, us believers realize that we have a new mission, that we have something, that we want to create a connection with the Most High, and the first step in that is to repent.
Right.
So, as I look at the story, as we look at the lines as going on here, if you think about the story of Christ so far, he just spent 40 days
Getting himself together.
but it's also a mirror of what happens to us. We start off literally in the wilderness,
Right.
and then we repent and start off from there.
Of course, because the wilderness is synonymous for sin. We start off in sin.
Right.
And doing all types of crazy things, and then at some point the Most High says, wake up. And we realize that what we're doing is evil. At least hopefully we realize that what we're doing and how we're living is evil, and we repent, turn away from it, rededicate ourselves to the Most High, and we start going. Well, Christ is now going through the baptism and the getting his spirit together. So now he's leaving out and telling other people.
Right.
Now that he's gotten himself together, he's going out and telling other people.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying. It seems to be a mirror for what every believer goes through.
Right. Or at least what every believer should go through.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. But you see, it's that temptation happens, the throwing that off, finding your purpose, finding your connection to the Most High, and then repenting and getting started. That's what it seems like.
Right. So, as we were saying, verse 17 says, repent for the kingdom is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Right.
So we know that, or at least, as I said, I believe it's him talking about the prophecies and the end times stuff being started, those decrees going out. And so he's telling you to turn from your wicked ways so that you're not destroyed.
Right.
Then, if we jump down to verse 19 of Matthew chapter 4, it says, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. So at this point, he is walking by the Sea of Galilee where he sees two brothers, and he tells them to come and follow after him, because two brothers that are fishing.
Now this is Peter and Andrew, but
Yeah.
I believe Andrew, they get their names changed.
Simon
Yeah.
called Peter.
Right.
And so anyway, he tells them to come and follow him, and he will make them fishers of men. So it's just a play on the word, I think, because they were fishing,
Right.
trying to get fish, and now he's saying what's more important than getting fish, something to feed your body, is to feed your spirit. And I'm going to send you out to get people to repent and come back to following the Most High.
Exactly. And like I said, still I'm using my same motif for a second here.
All right.
That seems to be the path that believers tend to go on. After they repent, they start on their, I don't know if you would call it a personal ministry, but if you start living the life, following the laws and those type of things, the people around you are going to see it. They're going to question what's going on. That ends up bringing more and more people.
Right, and you get this burning desire to tell everybody that you see that of the new information or the new wisdom that you've gained. So you're out there trying to get everybody to come.
You're out there fishing.
Yes, yes, yes. And so it is something that we all go through. Sometimes, though, it's a little premature because sometimes people get that information and they found out that they'd been living their life wrong, and before getting a good understanding of who they're now trying to follow, they go out and they say things that are incorrect because they haven't taken the time to study sufficiently.
Right.
You see in the Bible that people studied for a very long time before they actually went out and started doing stuff. But today, a lot of people, they get just a little bit of awakening, and they run out and they say things that may not be completely accurate, not out of wanting to hurt or mislead, but just because they don't have a good enough understanding yet.
Right.
So
now I have to bring this up. One of the, I mean, I totally understand wanting to share as fast as possible.
right.
You know, and I don't know what any person listening's personal actual situation is, but just a word of advice would be not only are you using the Bible to share with, it is a thing to put in their hands, whoever you're sharing to. It can really it really corrects. You know, when you're telling people to go back to the Bible and read it, to develop that personal relationship, the reading of it, reading of the Word themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that really helps prevent errors, I guess is the way to say it. Because you can get, when you're just trying to explain what's going on versus when you're just hearing someone explain it versus you reading it yourself, putting the work in and seeking it yourself. That time that any person puts in really helps.
Well, talking to someone else, reading the Bible with them, as you read, you get more and more better understanding. And if someone has a question and you're able to go in it with them and get the answer, then it helps build your understanding and wisdom as you go.
Right.
And, not make it, so many people want to say, hey, I've read the Bible, so now I'm an authority. And they don't want to, they don't come out of meekness. They come from some superiority front. And that just, that just puts a lot of mess in it, you know.
So I want to alleviate that for us right this moment. If, please, read the Word, get into the Bible, follow along with us, or look it up. This is in Matthew. We're reading through Matthew at this moment. I don't want to guide anybody wrong. I want you going in there and really looking yourself. If you think I'm in there, please let me know.
Right. Let us know, because we're all trying to grow and learn, and we don't say that we are the authority on anything. We're just trying to do our part and seek the Most High, and hopefully have some of you come along with us.
Absolutely. Okay, so, which is a great segue for me in this part. Straight away, the next verse, Matthew 20, Matthew 3 and 20.
No. Oh, and they straightway left their nets and followed him?
Exactly.
Yeah. I just don't want to... I'm just trying to do what Christ said, because there's a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't want to get into all of that other stuff, because I think people make sermons based off of things, and they don't pay attention to, certain
exact lines. Yeah.
minute things that are important. So I want to really just try to keep it to what Christ said.
Totally understand. I was actually getting ready to segue out.
Okay.
I was going to segue away, But in any event, thank you all so very much for just taking a few minutes on this short Israelite trip looking at the words of Christ. Well, as we said a few moments ago, please take the time, read over Matthew. It is a great story. It is well worth looking at. You know, if you have questions or comments, please let us know. Send us a like or a dislike. Any of those type of things.
I'm supposed to say dislike.
I'm sorry. Send us a like.
Or a dislike.
Or a comment.
Or a suggestion.
Any of those type of things. Please let us know what you happen to think of our the little series that we're going on with right now, and let us know any other questions that you may happen to have. So, do you have anything else?
Kwam Yasharala.
Bye.
If there's one thing I've learned as an Israelite, yeah,